Welcome to On the Chain. Caution, warning, you will be triggered. 10 billion XRP buyback? Question mark. What? That is what we're going to talk about tonight, amongst many other things, as there's always, every day, lots going in the crypto verse, in the crypto sphere, in the crypto world, whatever you want to call it. Blockchain.
Blockchain backer. Let's do it. Blockchain,
ready?
baby.
Blockchain,
You ready? Let's do this.
XRP.
Let's do it.
Welcome to On the Chain.
And also stay tuned. We've got a big announcement tonight. Big announcement around the badass Yetis. Real world product. All the goal was to have a real world product. We will talk about that. But Jeff, it's like I saw the internet blowing up a little bit, kind of what you just teased there. Everybody going, hey, the buyback. Have we had enough of the buyback conversation?
I've had so much of the buyback, but we got to get into it again. Why? Because it somehow recycled itself once again, buying back 10 billion XRP tokens.
Yeah, whale chart. I don't even know what whale chart is, but I saw it all over the place in comments and everything. But that's how you get some 65,000 views right there, you see? So breaking, and this is how you get attention to breaking. Like it's happening right now. Even if you read the tweet 2 months later. Rumors Ripple will buy back 10 billion XRP tokens. Jungle had a comment on this. And that's not Jungle's comment.
No, there you go.
Jungle said, hey, assuming the act of buying 10 billion XRP wouldn't move the price, current market prices would mean that it would be a $5 billion move. So do you think Ripple has $5 billion in cash to do this move? If for some stupid reason they wanted to do this, how would they make it happen? And therein lies the problem, Jeff.
Couple issues, right, that he brought up. $5 billion in cash. Why would they be moving $5 billion in cash over to XRP at this point? And then, and the point is, do they have it? Why would they do that? That'd be a massive cash hold if they were sitting on $6 billion right now, just sitting in, complete, liquid cash to move into, or $5 billion to move it over to XRP. What would be the purpose of that? Do they have it? And maybe it's practical, but in terms of if there's some big establishment that is looking to acquire all of that XRP, but then would they need Ripple to do the buyback? They need Ripple to acquire the XRP, or would there be another methodology of acquiring 10 billion XRP? Or here's another one: would it be over a long period of time? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to happen overnight. Maybe they're meaning, over a long period of time. But I don't know, the whole idea of the buybacks, whether it's the government or it's Ripple, all that stuff, you start digging into sources, and I've never seen a direct source as to the information that comes out.
Because there is no source, Jeff. It's a bunch of BS, right? Nick Bergalis, who used to be with Ripple, he tweeted this out. I have no special insights into Ripple's plans, but common sense tells me that this is about as plausible as the moon being made of cheese. Breaking. It ain't. It ain't made of cheese. And then, so I always wondered I didn't know where Nick Bergalis, where he landed, but he landed at a company called Marco Financial. Apparently they're in Miami. They have 325 followers on Twitter. They're MarcoFi, and I went over here to check them out. And what do? They do unleashing the big power of small business, trade finance solutions for SMEs in the U.S. and Latin America. So that's what they do. And then when your business needs cash, when it needs growth, when it needs speed, think Marco. So that's it. So you think Marco.
It's a good name for an app.
Polo. Marco Polo. Partner with us. I don't know what that means. I guess they got these partnerships. I don't know what that is. But I know HEB. I know a lot of these organizations here. Factoring. So Jeff, if you're in business, you understand factoring. Factoring is a great thing. It's factoring the way you get money ahead of collectibles, accounts receivable, but you pay a premium for it. So you have all this money sitting out there. I remember looking at that, and it's like, yeah, it's attractive, but they pay you up front and to collect on your invoices, right? You have $3 million sitting out there, you're kind of cash strapped. So they do factoring, they do asset lending, based lending, turn your assets into working capital, purchase order financing, supply chain.
Who is Marco?
Huh?
Who is Marco?
I have no clue. It's the name of the company. It's called Marco Finance.
Why are we talking about Marco?
Well, because I played it through Nick Bergalis' tweet right here, and then we talked about Nick Bergalis. Nick Bergalis used to be
to that point.
He used to be Jeff. Come on, pay attention. Jeff, he used to be with Ripple for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. He was there from the beginning. And then I said, well, where did he land? Because I remember he left over there at Ripple. And so I was just kind of like running through what this does. So he is the chief tech officer over there now. If you look on there, if you look on his thing, he's the chief tech officer at Marco Financial, blah, blah, blah. He's a cryptographer, a C++ wizard, shaved head aficionado, formerly of Ripple and Samsung. So there you go.
Nice. Well, there you go.
And that's what Marco does. Marco's the financial company, and they do all kinds of stuff. And Marco's for everyone. I'll be honest with you. When I see a dark website, I want to flee right away. I want to be gone.
Dark and green.
I just don't. I mean, I don't know, man. To me,
you don't
it's
like
like
you don't like the dark green font. It doesn't remind you like back in the day when that's all you had was a black and green monitor.
It kind of does, Jeff. Remember that? The black monitor with the green type over the top? It was like really bad and it was pixelated. I don't know. I don't like, I cannot take black backgrounds. It's like, if it's so great, then why don't they print books with white type on black pages? If it's so awesome and so readable.
It's not
because it's not. That's because it's not, Jeff. That's the answer. Because it's not that. It's all.
We should try it. We should try it and see how it works.
Let's try it and see how it works.
Let's publish a book from On the Chain. Though all the pages will be black and the print will be in white. Be really interesting.
That's horrific. Why do we really want to do something like that?
Probably not. Maybe we get someone else to do it.
We can just say, like, what it'll be is like you'll flip through all the pages, and then every one of the pages will see the next page, see the next page, see the next page. So you get to the last page and it says, "Never do this."
Right.
It's like, that'll be it. It's like next page, next page, next page, next page. You know, you flip through it.
Oh, it'd be a nice flip book. That would be a very cool flip book.
It would be. I don't think people might be angry though.
Do they still make those? Do they still make flip books?
I think they do though. I mean, can you buy them on Amazon? Maybe? I don't know.
No, flip books used to be really cool.
I don't know if it's. I mean, flip books were fun. I remember making them myself. You know.
Oh, making them, that was a blast.
And you get like a little stick figure to run. It was like taking like 3 weeks to do it. It was like, you know, the payoff was like, yeah. But the professional ones look like a comic strip. You know, it's like, you know, one of those cartoons.
50 Shades of On the Chain Gray. There we go.
There you go, baby. So there's this one here, Jeff. This is interesting here, this story that came up. Tokenization.
Braska's in the house. Where's everybody else from? We got Braska.
Braska's here. As long as Braska's here, we're good to go.
Yeah,
Where are you guys?
We got Belgium. We got Braska. We got the bees in the house.
The bees knees. Greetings from Belgium. Belgium, what time is it there, man? Holy cow. It's like 2 a.m. there in Belgium. Right?
It's late.
It is late. So let's go to this next story, which is tokenization could be a $5 trillion opportunity led by stablecoins and CBDCs, according to Bernstein. So about 2% of the global money supply via stablecoins and CBDCs could be tokenized. Could be, Jeff, over the next 5 years, which is about 3 trillion. Which is about 3 trillion. That was perfectly timed, man. So, you know, when you think about the benefits of tokenization, they're simple. It brings operational efficiencies, improved liquidity, and accessibility. Bernstein said in a research report, well, thanks. Tell us stuff we already know. Tokenization, the process by which real-world assets are converted into blockchain tokens. Now, I would probably think that a lot of people know that, but when you hear this word tokenization, it's like can be lost pretty easily. Like everything's tokenize everything, Jeff. We'll tokenize the damn lemon trees
should-
behind us.
I do. We've always wanted to tokenize those. I've also wanted to tokenize the bricks in the wall in the background, because imagine you can tokenize every brick and then we can sell those bricks. People can own those bricks. So you can do that now as an NFT. We could sell that and individualize and compartmentalize the background as an NFT collection. How cool would that be? And everybody could have their name on a brick.
Be something.
It would be something. 1 a.m. in the UK.
1 a.m. Thank you for hanging with us in your early morning. Just are you laying down? You got a good drink in front of you? You got a pint of something there? You're sloshing back, or what are you doing? I mean, you have to have something. What kind of drink? What's everyone drinking tonight? Let's throw that in the chat.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm drinking a Sam Adams right there. So just Bernstein estimates. Yeah, I wanted some coffee, Jeff, but you be careful. It's like late. You want to be up all night. Bernstein's estimates that the size of the tokenization opportunity could be as much as 5 trillion. Jeff, I think that could be a small estimate. 5 trillion? It's pretty small when you think about it in the grand scheme.
5 trillion. It's an interesting number. That's for sure.
But do you honestly see it being led by stablecoins and CBDCs? That right there, that gives me some pause right there. I see tokenization, but I think it would be more the private sector doing tokenization, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, overall, could the tokenization space be worth that amount? I believe it's going to be that and then some. It just, everything will be tokenized eventually. All securities will be tokenized. Real estate will definitely be tokenized.
Of course.
Now, do you need stable coins and CBDCs to make that successful? And I think this is where we have, for sure, where there's a departure from all of that. I think it'll make it in the real world. I would say Main Street world. In order for people to feel comfortable on a global scale, it seems like they're going to want some sort of a nationally backed currency. I think for most mainstreamers, would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, but I also think that you singling out real estate. I think that's really that might be the first really big emerging market. But just look at private market funds. And think about securities. It's a massive, like 5 trillion in 5 years. It could be 5 trillion in 2 years. Like it could go that quick.
It'd be mad if you put all real estate, and started tokenizing real estate and real estate investment. To me, that's a game changer right there, and it would allow fragmental ownership in commercial real estate, and that would be really interesting. They already do it, but I think that would simplify it, and you would have your ownership documented for all time, emblazoned on the blockchain. Just like emblazoned, just like we own some real estate over there in the X-Vectorverse.
Hell yeah, we do.
Never seen it, but imagine that was a real plot of land someplace.
Because nobody's allowed to be in there yet. It's like still being built. But how cool is that? I mean, just the day we purchased that was extraordinary because it's a digital piece of real estate. It's like if you've ever purchased a digital, and then because it was Dirk's birthday, I think yesterday or the day before, they were giving like buy one get a parcel free.
Interesting. Man,
which is pretty cool, but I think it's going to be great. Yeah, we're going to build, and Dirk's whole vision for that, when we think about real estate, is that you'll be able to go in there and do all kinds of transactions. It's also going to be cross-chain too. They're reaching out to other chains, so other people from other chains will be in there. But if you go to the on the chain, if you think about on the chain, you'll be able to go there and you'll be able to see the NFTs. You'll be able to they'll be hanging out with other, your fellow OTC family members, right? Think about how cool that's going to be. You'll be able to, mint an NFT. You'll also be able to purchase a real world badass Yeti product, which we'll be announcing a little bit later today. But how cool is that? You go in there, you hang out, and everything will be transacted through the blockchain. And again, it could be cross-chain, it could be XRP, it could be something else. I think that's fantastic.
I would like to see and maybe this is the direction it ends up going in, because if we want real world ownership in the metaverse. It's kind of interesting owning some stuff in the metaverse. Maybe exciting, maybe not. I think the jury's still out on that one. But what is very exciting is if you have a metaverse that is an exact replica of the real world, and then you can transact and look at your real estate in the metaverse and see your ownership stakes in the real world metaverse. Yeah, and that would be interesting. So you can go if your real estate is somewhere else, and you go and you can meet with your client in the metaverse, and you can do a full tour of that real estate.
Right.
And, then you can engage with them in the metaverse, but
Got
real
properties
world
already doing it.
metaverse, to me, that's the direction it's got to go into to make it, fully impactful and useful. Otherwise, metaverse is more, it's going to be a gaming solution. There've been so many games like that that have come and gone.
I don't think so, though. I don't think it's going to be gaming. I think it's going to be more hanging out. I think it's going to be more purchasing. I think it's going to be a lot more to that.
Business. I'd like to see business in the metaverse.
Dirk is Dutch. Dirk is Dutch, but he lives in Belgium. There you
Right.
go. So that's
Very
something
cool.
that I know. And then we had this one from Amith says
Yeah.
India will soon see apartments and houses should be tokenized so we can use XRPL, and then we can gold and every gold, I don't know what that says, Indian family holds tokenized use at XRPL, something along the lines of tokenized XRPL.
I think he brings up a great point.
Yes.
I would like to see more progress over in India, and I see that India could probably adopt and adapt to DeFi faster than other countries. At the pace that India has been developing over the years, and it's been a couple years since I've been there, but every time I'd go back and visit, it changed. The infrastructure in India was building at a rapid pace. The one unique aspect of India is the sheer size of the population that remain unbanked, that were living completely in fiat for multiple reasons, and also the lack of trust in the banking system, or also the lack of access and the fact that it was too expensive. So I think if we look at DeFi and, like he's mentioning, the tokenization of real estate over in India, but if we could take India as a perfect real model and see something grow there at rapid speed, I think we could see amazing things out of India. But over the course of all these years that that at least I've been in crypto since 2017, it's been like a roller coaster in India. I mean, sometimes they're going to accept it, then they don't. Then they accept it, then they don't. Then they accept it, and I think there's a lot of tension and conflict in the old way things were done in India, in terms of the corruption and the way business and a lot of things get done in fiat, kind of as the back part of the deal.
Yep.
And so I think you got things like that have to change. But to me, man, I'm glad I may have brought that up.
Keep it real says 10 billion buyback is fake. Of course it's fake. Of course it's fake. It's fun to laugh at it. Stories created by Crypto Geek. He creates his own fake XRP Twitter news accounts and websites. Most of his points are linked to his made-up accounts. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's fun to laugh about again, but that's why Jeff gave the trigger warning, because people are like, there's no buyback. And then we get like rude comments on there. Just having some fun, guys. I mean, let's not get crazy. Let's talk about what people are drinking. What do we have in here? I saw a
Proppy,
couple
that's it.
things.
Proppy.
Yeah,
Proppy is the
Proppy.
real estate.
I remember Proppy first came out when I was in real estate tech. I remember Proppy first came out.
Same.
I sat down with them, met them, and was like, and I remember my colleagues going, "This is bullshit. It'll never work." I'm like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen." So it's like we had two different impressions, of what it was. But of course, Cloud Candy Double IPA. That's what Larry's drinking right now. I thought we saw
Michelob.
some other
Drinking a Mick.
drinking a Michelob, a Mick. What kind of Mick? A regular Mick? Maybe. How about tokenization of race teams, Jeff?
Oh, that would be amazing. If we could tokenize race teams, that would be phenomenal. And then you could own a fractional. Now, in this case, the tokenization of a race team would most likely be a security, and it would be treated as such. So I think that as you start tokenizing certain assets like that, because the idea is that you're going to generate an earning off of a common enterprise, which is their racing. So that'd be it. But I think that'd be phenomenal. Imagine you can own a fractional share of the of any of the teams out there. That'd be great.
Yeah, I think.
You want to own a
Well, I
little
mean,
Red Bull team? That'd be awesome.
yeah, it depends what kind of regulations we get or don't get, or what other lawsuits are actually. We got this right here. A vodka cranberry mango says, look at that. I saw another one here that I thought was funny.
Guinness.
Guinness is solid right there.
Here you go. Right
Let's
here.
see.
Now it's gone. Here it is. Hypnotic and Meditate Lemon Juice 50/50.
Somebody else said I can't find it right now, but somebody else said I'm drinking vodka and something like a college girl. Somebody had that in there. I don't know. I can't
Now,
see it.
Vincent Scully was drinking pale lager from Sacred Profane in Bedford, Maine, all last week. Not drinking it now.
There it is right
Drinking
there.
it last week.
Vince Scully.
Oh,
Vodka look for it like a college girl.
okay.
That's fantastic. It really is fantastic drinking that.
So Moneybags Not Bob is saying may be able to buy tokenized stocks and bonds, etc. in the metaverse. Things are progressing. Yeah. AI is progressing at rapid speed. So much is going on. Man, Amit is into cricket. I was mistaken for a cricket coach the last time I was in India, and I was traveling through local airports, and I had a whole crowd of people, and the coworker I was with was, he's, tall, athletic, and so they thought he might have been a player or maybe as a trainer. And so we're kind of walking through the airport, and this whole crowd started following us and pointing and taking pictures. And finally, as we're boarding the plane, someone came over and he said, "Are you so-and-so?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Okay." He goes, "I get it." And then he went back and whispered something, and they still started talking about us. So.
They scattered like roaches.
Cricket. That's my cricket story. I'm sticking with it.
So this one was good right here. Sometimes, Jeff, if somebody tweets something and you either know what they're talking about or you go, I don't know what they're talking about. In this case, when we put this up here, I think everybody will know what we're talking about. This is CryptoEri. She put this up. She said, "Is it time we start to research before retweeting?" Hashtag serious question, right? Because that tweet about the 10 billion was all over the place. 2 billion. I'm like, there's so much buyback garbage out there. But first of all, ask yourself a simple question like, why would they buy back anything, right? It's the dumbest thing ever, right? I mean, why would they do it?
Number one.
Why? Why buy back anything? So ridiculous. So I think it is time we do a little bit of research instead of like the knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, but I've done that sometimes. Now, I remember Twitter used to do this. Sometimes I would see an article and I would retweet it just based on the headline. Like, who has time to read, Jeff? But it's usually something outside of crypto. Because we do this, I read it. But if it's one of the other Twitter accounts, if it's another Twitter account, I just retweet it. And it goes, "Are you sure you don't want to read it first?" And I'm like, screw you. Who are you? Who are you? My mother ask me questions? It's ridiculous. What do you care what I do if I tweet it out, right?
Yeah, I just want to read the headline. I don't need to see everything else.
Well, sometimes you don't. Like, I'll give you a good example of that. The Babylon Bee. It's a great article that just basically reinforces what the headline is. So if the headline is great, you start laughing. And then sometimes I'll read the article, but it's like, there's not much more payoff. Sometimes you get an extra little zinger in there. But I think she's right, Jeff. I mean, I think we could all do a little bit of...
Which is why...
Put that there.
Which is why I put the trigger alert, warning, trigger alert, right on the thumbnail. Because the last one, we triggered so many people. And they said, we're never going to watch your channel again. I'm going to unsubscribe for your channel. Blah, 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 blah. Because all they did was read the title. And they never had listened, didn't watch the video, didn't try to listen, all about the title. So now everything's got to have a, there's too many betas out there, a lot of weak-willed people, and so we got to put the trigger alert, trigger warning on things. It's unfortunate, but we've reached that point in society where we have to do that.
It really is, Jeff. It really just comes down to that. Look at, I mean, because I'll give you the case in point here, okay? You guys know the Babylon Bee. It's a great parody account. You know, back in the day, I used to love the Onion, but then the Onion got kind of dry and sour. It just, I don't know. But at the time, it was, I think in the beginning it was good. But here you go. Let's just read a couple of these. Like, man gains back every calorie burned during triathlon with a single bite of a donut. It's like, you know, it's like, let's go to the next one. New Zealand has been using a race-based surgery wait list since 2020, and people are only now finding out about it. So if you follow no surgery, so there you go. Nope, no surgery. Here we go. Emperor begins selling, but his Death Star, his Death Star hats,
his Death Star. Oh my God.
The Emperor Palpatine right there. Like, Russian mercenaries steal Putin's podium in brazen coup attempt.
Steal his podium. That's great.
You know, youth pastors imploding the submersible of sin in your life sermon theme tasteless too soon. Yikes.
It's hilarious.
Man charged with blasphemy for not removing sandals while using the rainbow crosswalk. Got a rain, Jeff. While racing to clean house before, wife racing to clean house before firefighters arrive.
All right, let me bring up some real news. That's good. Those are funny. The real news of the day is Warren Davidson fire Gary Gensler, fix the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is really great. The wolf of all streets, not just Wall Streets, the wolf of all streets. Scott Melker is saying the movement to fire Gary Gensler is gaining steam, prompted by the efforts of a U.S. Congressman, Warren Davidson, and his proposed SEC Stabilization Act. Everything you need to know, go over and watch that YouTube video. That was just really, really solid. I'm glad that we're starting to see, some momentum with this, and hopefully we see something real. I really would anticipate something. There's a censure going on right now against Schiff. There's all sorts of, they have, they've been bringing a lot of different people in, and we're not seeing huge movement, but this is going to be a big one. We got to see this one go through.
You think so, Joe?
I do. I really do.
Hey, hang on a second. Let me do something here, Jeff. What are you laughing at there, Jeff?
Michael Alexander saying, your thumbnail remind me of XRP Productions tweets. I love them.
That's because you get it, man. You get the inside joke, but people don't. And that tweet had like 500 people coming after it. Jeff, this right here is hilarious on so many levels. And thank God for Matt Hamilton. I know Matt Hamilton's up in Toronto right now because he said on his Twitter account, but look at this. So Matt Hamilton says, this is the thing that frustrates me somewhat. For me, it's just, I find it comical, but it's 2023. He says he's watching a demo at a hackathon of a team that has solved the problem of making cryptocurrency payments with low transaction fees. Jeff, 2023, they've solved it. Now, they look like good kids, right? I mean, they look like they got way too many stickers on that notebook over there, but they've solved the problem, Jeff. So here, give us your famous mantra about startups solving problems that don't need to be solved. I mean,
you got to love it, and we haven't talked about that in a while, but there used to be, and there probably still are, lots of projects out there that just aren't solving anything. They're solutions in search of problems. What's nice to find are actual solutions that are solving problems. So there's a drastic distinction between solving a problem and looking for a problem to solve. So you create this amazing thing, say, hey, I've got this amazing widget. Well, what does it do? Well, we don't know exactly the problem it solves yet, but we're going to figure it out. And typically they attach it to something that isn't necessarily a problem. But then you have people that say, I created this widget and it solves this problem, and it's going to be an amazing solution. You guys are going to love it. And here, what is this one? Problem of making cryptocurrency payments with low transaction fees.
Yeah, this is funny, Jeff. It's like,
what is that hammer down there?
It looks like crazy stuff going on. It's like 0 ETH, transaction A to B, 21,000 gas, arrow to data, here's 0.05, Anosis balance, EUMA, block narrative. Look at how crazy nut job this is. Mainnet, RPC, then you've got all this stuff, right? So he goes on to say that this is a problem that was solved by the XRP ledger back in 2011, literally years before Ethereum even existed. But yet it's being solved again. But on the other hand, this has been a very good learning experience for this team. And I often hear, why are so many few people building on the XRPL? But one of the reasons being is that they're not having to solve problems that don't exist. That's just terrific. And then he said, to be clear, it's no slight on the team that just presented. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But I'm glad they're building things. It's just an observation that the more problems a system has, the more development opportunity there is. But this is so funny. It's like, what a great statement. I often hear, why are so few people building the XRPL? Because one of the reasons they don't have to build, they don't have to solve problems that don't exist. So this one here was too much, Jeff.
So I'm glad you read that, because the follow-up to that, which is a real problem, and this is, in banking. So it's interesting. We're talking about solving how do you move money and all of that. So I saw this one. Here's a podcaster. He wanted to take I forget how much he wanted to take, but let's watch this real quick. Hopefully, wait.
Sound there?
Hopefully it works. Let's see if you can hear it.
Click the button at the bottom.
And when I called them, I asked.
Can you hear it?
I can hear it. It's a little low, but I can hear it.
Okay. So he's calling his bank, and he asked them for what? Let's see.
For $250,000. They said to me, well, we're probably going to need for anything over $20,000 to make an order, which will take about 3.5 to 4 weeks to arrive. Then we're going to need an armed guard that's going to meet you, walk you to your car, and make sure that you drive away with the money. So then I said, look, I need just $250,000, and it's not that much money. And the bank pretty much told me, Ben, it might not be a lot of money for you, but it's a lot of money. It took about 5 weeks, and that's why we delayed this podcast, for me to receive $160,000. That's all they were able to scrap. That's a bunch of bullshit. That means that I have money in the bank that doesn't exist. And then I come to find out that only 3 to 5% of the money in the economy is physical money. The rest of it is digital money. So going decentralized and into crypto and Bitcoin, that's something that brings the power back to the people. So I called my bank.
I thought that was interesting, except for till he got to the end with the Bitcoin. But he was talking about crypto and Bitcoin and kind of referenced more in a general sense. But that's the real world problem that everyone references. How long, and maybe his case was unique. I don't know. They didn't document and going in and showing the actual case. Is just a short video, and he's on a podcast. I don't know, it's his or someone else's. But Chip, to get $250,000 in cash, and I know I've seen other YouTubers that have tried to get, that money in singles or coins, and they want to go buy a Ferrari, and they have to go to like 10 different banks.
I watched.
You think it's really that difficult?
So I learned two things from watching that clip, Jeff. First thing I learned is he's far more successful at podcasting than we are.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing I learned. Second thing I learned was, how did he not know that the banks, that there's 5 to 10% of actual fiat currency? I mean, this is the whole argument against the CBDC. It's like, we need a digital currency, we need this, we need that. We don't actually need it, because almost 90% of the what we currently use is digital. You don't physically have it in your hand. You're moving it. I mean, Jeff, I go in there, pay bills. It's like a number in my bank account. That number comes out of that bank account and goes to this account. It's all but this whole idea of trying to, the reason they want a CBDC is they just want to control. It's like, okay, what are you spending your money on there, pal? And what are you doing? And then, geez, I don't like your opinions on this. I don't like your attitude either while you're at it. I don't like you're a little snippy, a little sarcastic. I don't like that. So we're going to go ahead and ban you, Chip. We don't really want you participating here. Go home. We don't want to talk to you. And that's kind of like what it's about, Jeff. It's kind of like this very, it's this very sort of, it used to be subdued. Now they come on and say, of course we're so interested in your privacy. It's all we can think about is your privacy. And when they say that, then I know they're telegraphing exactly what they're going to do, which is exactly the opposite of that, Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, that's amazing. I got to throw this clip up, and then we have an announcement to make, but I got to throw this one up because there's been a lot of conversation over Robert Kennedy Jr. and not for what everyone thinks from a political perspective. But have you seen these tweets and videos going around and pictures of him working out? This guy's jacked. Check this. Look
Yeah,
at
for
this guy.
for a 69-year-old dude, he's jacked.
Look at
Yeah.
this. Yeah. Let me turn this down. Hang on. There we go. But you look at him, guy's in good shape. Yeah, and then they're putting him next to all these others that are supposed to be, the health specialists, the health experts. This guy's ripped. 69 years old. Guy's man, he's in really good shape.
Do you know who his wife is?
Oh,
Do you know
what's
who he's
that?
married to? Do you know who he's married to?
No.
Did you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No.
Okay, well that's well, the person that plays Larry David's wife in that, Cheryl Hines, is his wife. And I was reading somewhere where she's like, we don't agree on, we don't see, but I'm supporting him full blown, but we don't agree on everything. Because I mean, it's just like anybody would, any couple, no matter who they are. I mean, there's things you just agree, or you see point counterpoint, different things, and especially if you believe the old adage that opposites attract. If you look at, like, when I think about my wife, it's like she's opposite from me. She's very analytical and smart, and I'm not. So there you go. She's very she's very like low key, and I'm not. It's like, so there's like a lot of that opposites going on there.
I love Mark Smithson's comment. Push-ups are awesome, but I'll take the $1.87 gas instead.
That's right, Mark. It's like, yeah. And the best part about this is, like, Jackie's like, "Ooh, big hearts there." But this is the thing I try to remind people. So like recently, I got into a conversation with a bunch of people, and they're like, "Oh man, his stance on the this, and he's pro crypto." I'm like, "That's cool," but if you actually go look at his policies, he's more akin to a Joe Biden Democrat than he is a John F. Kennedy Democrat. John F. Kennedy looks like center right compared to today. If you looked at his policies, and he was the original "let's drain the swamp," and that's kind of what happens. And that's the other thing that RK Jr. says is that, and I love how I just was Googling him, just kind of like seeing, and the mainstream media, they hate him, Jeff. They despise him. They're like, misinformation, and he believes that his uncle was taken out by a 3-letter agency. That's preposterous. Yeah, in light of the Durham report and every possible government agency that's absolute corruption at the highest levels, the lowest levels, and mid-level, I'm sure that stuff didn't happen like 50 years ago, Jeff. It's probably just a figment of your imagination, right? So I was like, all right, yeah, he's a cool dude. I mean, I like to hear him. He talks about certain subjects and stuff, but you're going to get the same policies, I mean, I don't want to talk about him here. It's not really the place, but just do your research. Go back to CryptoEri's tweet and research it first. Everyone's like, oh, everyone's looking for something new. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the person who said they were going to do stuff and then did it. That's for the first time in my adult life. That's what I look for, Jeff. I look for, these are my things, and cross every one of them off, versus, go out, kiss a few babies, do a rah-rah speech, do a somersault, go on a couple talk shows, and then, like, forget everybody that ever helped you along the way, and la, la, la. And then 4 years later or 2 years later, whatever, depending on your cycle, you go out there, kiss a few babies, and la, la, la. And, I'm with Mark. Listen, bring back the $1.87 gas. Bring back the self-sufficiency where we had more oil in this country than pretty much almost anywhere. Bring it all back. Let's roll.
It's good. All right, we got some more stuff to cover on the banks and DeFi, but we should probably pause for a brief announcement.
Let's do that. Let's do a brief announcement. We got 107 people here with us today, but
something to play.
I don't have anything to play. I do have something. I do want to start with this, though. If you guys know, we did launch the Badass Yetis. The Badass Yetis is an NFT project. We rolled out the blue tribe. We have a white tribe, black tribe, and a purple tribe behind that. 589 in here. We're more than 50% of this minted. It's 125 XRP. And when Jeff and I talked about doing the Badass Yetis, here they are right there. You guys have seen them. We've talked to them to death here. People are like, stop talking about the Yetis. It's our project, man. It's like, hey, so, here's some of the Yetis. You can buy these. You can mint one for 125. They're cool little buggers. And there are 7 clans that belong to that blue tribe. And so, Jeff, we have talked about since the inception, we didn't want to just do a one-off project. We didn't want to just say, hey, let's do some NFTs and be done. No, we wanted to actually have a real world product. We wanted to build a brand around the Badass Yetis. And tonight we are here to introduce, we have that drum roll ready? I'm going to get that ready. Where's that drum roll? Where's that drum roll? We have it?
Here.
Oh, no.
Boom!
Here we go.
That's
Ready?
not the drum roll.
I found it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not ready yet, though, Jeff. I was like, we're not ready to do it yet. But I just wanted
All right. Do it one more time. You ready?
Hey, wait, I'm not ready. Let me cue you first. Let me cue, and then we'll do it. But here we go, guys. So it's not, if you know anything about the show, if you know anything about Jeff and I, it's not a stretch. But Jeff, introducing here for the first time ever, the real world product. Get that drum roll. Let's do it. And what is it? There it is. Boom. Official Badass Yetis coffee, man. Not just any coffee. This is, here it is right here. Look at it.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Bam.
It is
There
beautiful.
it is.
Multiple different versions of this, different varieties of this coffee. Absolutely amazing. You guys know we talk a lot about coffee on the show. And here you go. Check it out. We've got the Obsidian Bold. There's
Jeff,
a number of different varieties. We got the Noir Symphony. The Noir Symphony is a 6-bean medley. It's actually kind of like it's a dark roast. And then there's a medium dark roast also, but this one's a dark. And then I've got this one and the Obsidian Bold. This one is more of like an Italian roast. Really good also. Amazing stuff. But we wanted to start. Yeah. Go ahead.
You guys are probably wondering, is it any good? Nah. It's fucking great. I mean, it is the best coffee you've ever had. Why? Because we roast the beans to order. Here's how it works. You submit an order for a bag of one of these beautiful bags of coffee, which we'll go through. But you just basically you select your order. And then as it comes in, your beans are roasted just then. If you've never had small batch roasted beans, you are missing out. Look at Jeff is smelling that bag there. Just give a little crunch there. Give a little crunch next to that microphone.
You know, what's amazing.
Pull those beans out.
When you order it, it gets roasted right away, and
then it gets shipped the next day
and shipped. But these beautiful beans, and this is a dark. Look at that beautiful little bean. Oh, that's good stuff.
Crispy. I wanted to hear the crispness of the mic though.
Oh, I think the mic blocked it out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it's not a voice, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got and again,
and it's funny because Jacob's Ladder is asking if they come in K cups, and a matter of fact, we're working on that. So that could be down the road. You can have it pre-ground, but go with a whole bean and get a grinder and grind it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
and also too, if you want, you can save some money here too and get on a subscription. So either get it every 2 weeks or you can get it monthly. And we've also built in some utility here for if you are an NFT holder. Let me throw this up here real quick. This is what it looks like. Oh, why? Okay, here we go.
There it is.
So there it is right there. So if you're a NFT holder, so there it is right there. So that's the utility we built into this is that if you own 1 Yeti, you get 10% off. You own 3 or more Yetis, you get 15% off. Believe it or not, there's a bunch of people that own 6 or more. 6 or more Yetis, you get 20% off. That's in perpetuity. That's, for as long as you want. And again, this is small batch roasted. It's custom roasted. I will put it up against everything, Jeff. I mean, I don't think there's really, Jeff and I, it had to work. It had to work for us first because we are coffee connoisseurs. And if it didn't work for us, we weren't going to, we can't sell stuff that just slap a name on it. We can't just put the OTC label on it. Just put our name because it's our name that's on this. It is some damn good coffee. I will drop
amazing coffee. So we're just getting it rolled out, which is awesome. We're really looking excited. We're excited to get you guys some of this coffee. We'll throw the link out there. Super easy to find. What is the website? There you go. BadassYetisCoffee.com. BadassYetisCoffee.com. Go check it out and you can order some. Try it out. You're going to love it.
You're going
There's
to
different
love it.
varieties. If you get the dark, if you get the if you get the Obsidian Bold, which is an Italian roast, super dark. I like it. But this is a dark, rich coffee. The Noir Symphony is also a dark roast, but it's not as dark. The Italian roast is borderline on the burnt. It's not quite a French roast. And then the Noir Symphony, also a dark. It's a nice one. It says right here on the bag, a flavorful harmony of 6 beans. This dark roast strikes a vibrant tune on your palate. So anyhow,
go.
we'll throw that out there. You guys are gonna love it.
Mont Mist and
that's
Brewed
what we
Awakening. Brewed Awakening is your run of the mill like breakfast blend, right? That gets you going. As you can see, this
medium
Yeti.
Oh, there
There's
he
the
is.
medium. Yeah,
Check
there
out
he is right there.
the Brewed Awakening. And there's a lot more ideas that we have forthcoming. We're gonna have another announcement on the White Tribe when that gets geared up here, and we're gonna talk about that soon, about what that's all gonna take. And yeah, a lot of good stuff going on.
There it is, guys. And then also too, I'm gonna put the Twitter account there too. If you guys can just follow us. Let's see. I'll have to throw that up there in a second. But yeah, if you guys can just like give us a quick follow. It's 12 ounces.
12-ounce bag. 12-ounce bag. It's fresh roasted too. So it's not, these aren't sitting on a shelf somewhere. When your order is received, the coffee, the beans are put into the roaster and they're roasted to your order. So then they're put in the bag and off they go, which is awesome.
Guys, if I could just ask you guys right now, because until we rolled it out, we've got one person following us right now. That's not terrific, but there it is right there, one follower.
Haven't really rolled it out, but
there
that's
it is.
it.
So there we go. So go ahead and give us a follow.
That's Twitter.
Badass Yetis.
Oh, show that thing. Do you guys like? We love the little mascot. The Badass Yeti Coffee mascot is awesome.
So there it is, the Badass Yetis Coffee, a brand, and again, really, it's really good stuff, man. Especially if you really dig coffee, or if you just don't, then get the breakfast blend. But it's good stuff, guys. Jump out there, get it. If you need a Yeti, you know where to go. But that's it, Jeff. Pretty exciting about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. E4 Rockin' is saying put a pinch of pink Himalayan salt on top of the grounds, and if you think the Badass Yetis hearken from the Himalayas, but if you get a little pink Himalayan salt and put that just a little sprinkling on it before you brew it, it actually does cut out a little bit of the acidity and brings out a little more flavor, which is awesome.
Like that. You gotta love that, Jeff. So there it is. Big announcement.
We'll be doing a lot more with that. We're excited to be able to announce that with everything live, websites live. Yeah, and you can go.
It says you do charge more per cup than Victoria's Secret.
Do you charge?
Do you charge more per cup? What is Victoria's Secret? What's that all about? I mean, I know what Victoria's Secret is. I mean, I don't know what we're talking about here. You know.
And we're not ready to. This is an initial announcement. We will do a coffee drawing. I think it's a phenomenal idea. Not tonight. We're not ready to do that tonight. But I've seen everyone, and the free bag of coffee goes too.
Yeah, right.
But
bing.
We will be able to do that. So everything's just getting going. We're excited about it, and let's dig back in. That was kind of our side note into that. But go check it out. Go to Badass Yeti Coffee. Go check out the story, the process, the roast to order, exactly how the whole thing works, and you guys are gonna be good. It would be awesome.
There it is, custom roasted right for the boom. That roasts and scoops into your bag and ships out. And guess what? Free shipping. I'm not gonna make you pay for shipping. Come on, man. We don't do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, free shipping.
Free shipping. So there you go.
All right.
It says, got you. Caffeine is my favorite drug by far. Well, Fernando, get yourself one of those bags. You'll love it. But just one thing right now we can only ship in the U.S. Seeing if that's a potential possibility to potentially ship outside the U.S., but it is a lot more when you're shipping outside. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It becomes more costly, especially when we're dealing with customs and declaring, and it just unfortunately becomes a massive hassle. But that's how it is.
No shipping. We can't ship out of the U.S. right now. Not yet. Soon. Working on that part. But as it stands right now, there's no shipping outside the U.S. Unfortunately, we're working on that so we can get that figured out. But as soon as we do, then you guys will be awesome. Now, Mike Roth is saying, so sorry, this is funny because I said that this joking about the
Yeah,
Badass Yeti coffee. And someone else started in. No wonder you didn't say anything when I commented. I think that was
we didn't see it until
earlier.
after, actually, but
Yeah.
well, we've been teasing it for a while. But if you guys know us, who watch us, we talk about coffee all the time. It's like the perfect thing for us. It's the perfect thing. The next thing is, then we need, I think libations might be next, but let's get this thing rolling. Again, it is
We've been working on pink Himalayan salt. That didn't pan out as
yeah, we
planned.
put our name on it, guys, so it's got to be good, right? So we don't mess around, and obviously
Gotta
wouldn't.
be.
If we didn't consume it ourselves, we wouldn't make it forward. Or believe me.
Can you brew them like espresso? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I use the little mocha pot, the stovetop. I made this morning. I made the obsidian bold, super dark, rich. Normally, I'm drinking Segfredo. I love Segfredo. Segfredo is a perfect go-to. Segfredo has different levels. If you go and you buy their big bags, they have a red bag. You have to go to their website to find it. A big red bag, and then they have a black bag you can only get in the cafes overseas. And I used to have the black bags brought in, and that is super, super dark and rich. And the obsidian bold, my wife made it when I made it this morning. She said that it was, it was on par with that, and it was as strong and rich as that one. You go to the Noir Symphony, it's a little bit lighter. It's also a dark roast, but definitely grind them down like an espresso. You got to do it that way. Put them in, make it. I mean, you can do it any way you want. I'm sure a French press would be great, but I do it the espresso way every morning. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and under each description too, it'll give you a little bit about the beans. Which one's the best one for you, and you can just see that drip is better for home coffee machines, or like the fine ground is like espresso or AeroPress. Each one of those, of course, you can use in a French press, or if you're doing like a cold brew, something where you're going to extract the flavors out a little bit more longer. But
Yetis coffee.
There you are, badass Yetis.
Hey, yeah, Chip, I wanted to get your comment on this one. I saw this kind of pop up earlier. Now this was on Bitcoin Magazine. Their comment was, now this is from a year ago, this post, but the comment was, "This is why we Bitcoin." And they're commenting on this image that they posted. I can't really click it, but they printed, I guess I could click it, but they printed they printed $8 trillion, gave you 1,400, sent the rest to their friends, and left you with inflation.
How it works, Jeff.
And this is why we Bitcoin. Now, if you take Bitcoin kind of like a conversation on Kleenex or whatever, then this is why we crypto. Why is crypto's impact and decentralized? Why are we going to decentralize for those reasons, and not just those reasons alone, but those reasons? So
this is funny. It's like when you get. It's sad that the original tweet's not here, but someone put up a tweet, something to the effect of like, and I'll just paraphrase it, but it was something to the effect of, Jed McCaleb, when he left Ripple, he created the real, token, XLM, and blah blah blah. He's a genius. And then Neil Hartner, he's also a Rippler. He's senior staff software engineer. He works on the on-demand liquidity. He says, like, I don't know, his code contributions to XRPL repo were pretty few and underwhelming. He was also too lazy to type out commit messages. So if you're a coder, and I've committed code too, but I can tell you one of the big pet peeves, when you commit code and you like do a Git, or like a GitHub or something like that, and you actually commit the code and you don't type out a commit message, it's just meaningless. It's like you want to type, and sometimes you can get a little overboard, but he was so lazy, he didn't even type a commit message. So when you're committing something up to, committing some code, wouldn't even do that. So I love how he says, like, yeah, his contributions were pretty few and underwhelming, and then he was even too lazy when he did something to actually, commit. But you can see what ended up happening. And if you can go right over to the GitHub and see, there's Jed McCaleb right there. Yeah. Yeah, so there it is. There's his stuff and just nothing to really look at. His last commit was in January 15th of 2013. Branch master of GitHub, Jed McCaleb, new coin. So there you go. You can look it all up there. You can see what the commits are yourself if you want. And yeah, there's really nothing going on there. Underwhelming and few in between, Jeff. That's really, I don't know. I think that's all we got, Jeff. I don't think we have anything else. We have anything? I mean, my gosh, I don't know.
I'm looking through the keep, and I think we hit most of the topics.
I think we hit everything. Yeah, we had pretty much. Yeah, pretty much everything.
Let's see if there's any. We had all the key. Oh, there was one more here actually.
Which
this one
John?
here, I thought there's a John Deaton one, but then there was this one here. Oh, I'm not sharing. Hang on, let me make sure I'm sharing this. So this one was the IMF. Now the IMF keeps like resurfacing itself, and now they're coming out with this XC platform for tokenized cross-border payments. Where have we heard this before? And who cares if the IMF is involved in it? There was obviously a lot of XRPL involvement, obviously RippleNet, but now all of a sudden the IMF is going to come out with the XC platform. Everything's a little bizarre. It's like we live in a bizarre world. Now they're trying to maintain their relevancy. All of a sudden, with their look, there's an evolution of wholesale CBDC, which is both a settlement asset and infrastructure, a platform. Really, it's a platform. It's amazing. It's a settlement solution. You're gonna love it.
Okay, so we got some. So let's close with some ideas here. So people have been chiming in here. So Moneybags Not Bob said Chip and Jeff ice cream next. No, that would be more like a Biden thing. I don't know if that's us, but
I like ice cream.
Crypto Whelp says when badass Yetis moonshine. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Jim D says another product idea: sell Yeti brand private key generator using Yeti Dai and public domain offline software app seeded with Yeti Dice. Import seeds into Zum Wallet. There you go.
Just have to make sure it's badass Yetis.
And then Vince is apologizing, saying, "Sorry, I had to take a break while I ate dinner. You guys discussing 50,000 plus end of year?
End of year, yeah, more or less.
Were we discussing that, Jeff? I don't know. I think we covered that already, Vince. I mean,
I think we're covering the 0 to 50,000 potential.
Yeah, so there you go.
But that's all we got. This was really exciting.
Wednesday
I'll be streaming from an undisclosed location, I assume.
Who's that?
I said on Wednesday I'll be streaming from an undisclosed location.
All right.
Well,
and get yourself some badass Yetis coffee, man. It's some good stuff. Support the show, support us. If you believe in our mission here, and even if you don't believe in it, keep your mouth shut and just buy something. That's it. All I can say. It's like you don't have to believe in it. You don't even have to like coffee. Buy it for somebody that does like coffee. Everyone knows somebody in their life that likes coffee. They're like, don't drink it. My brother, honestly, so I sent it to my brother, and he's like, dude, I have never drinking. How can you never drink? How can you never have had a cup of coffee? He's like, I don't know. I think I tried it once. I didn't like it. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. This is really weird. But he's a big watch guy. He loves watches, buys them, sells them, trades them, all this stuff. Like, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a watch guy. Like, what do I need a watch for? I've access to the nuclear clock right here. What do I need that for? Ridiculous. Someone just bought a badass Yeti coffee. Thank you so much, guys. Someone just bought a badass Yeti coffee. We got actually a couple orders. Well, we got 5 orders in. Nice, guys. Appreciate that. 5 orders in here, guys. Who else wants a badass Yeti? I just dropped that link. I think people were chomping at the bit to get a badass Yeti's coffee. But yeah, well, here's what we want you to do. We want you to tell us how you like it. And if you do like it, depending on how much you like it, write up a little review. Throw it in the chat. Hey, I got the coffee. I love it. It's fantastic. I want to hear that because we'd love to share that with everybody else. I'm going to go ahead and share the link again. But thanks a lot. Really appreciate the support, you guys. There you go. Ammo. There it is.
And that's it.
All right. There it is, everybody. That's all we have.
You guys are amazing.
Australian Tour dates. Don't have it yet. You guys
Soon.
want to bring us out there? Start raising the fund. Okay, we have to sell a lot of bags of coffee or a lot of NFTs.
Oh, the tour date
If we're
for
if
Australia.
we're coming to see our Aussie friends, it's gonna.
That'd be
You better start getting everything ready or getting the fund ready and get us
I
out
like
there.
it.
Love
That'd be
to
really
get out
cool.
there and meet you guys. So,
Yeah, you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. The best and the brightest in all of YouTube.
best and
crypto
brightest,
space.
best and brightest, Jeff.
Best and brightest hung in there with us tonight. You guys are great. Look forward to seeing you guys back here 8 p.m. on Wednesday for the live stream. Also, go check out. We have some of the shorts. Those are cut up on the channel too. Go back and grab some of the best from the previous week, and those are cut up. We posted one this morning. There'll be another one going out tomorrow. So until Wednesday, we will check you guys out on
The next one. Chit and Jeff. Ow! See you guys. Get yourself a badass Yeti coffee. Join the tribe, man. Be part of the tribe. Let us know how it is. Much love. Chip Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.